be honest with each other. Food prices are out of hand, and theme parks are already notorious for having overly priced meals. We used to joke about $14 hot dogs, but somehow we're at a point in life where that's not even a joke anymore. So over the last few days, we have scoured the restaurants at Universal's Islands of Adventure looking for the best cheap eats in the park. And yes, I used air quotes when I said cheap. When I first started looking at the menus, I was shocked at some of the prices and how much they've increased over the last few years. Like, our original idea for this video was to pick meals that are under or right at that $10 mark, and there just aren't very many in the parks. But that doesn't mean that you still can't get a good bang for your buck. So what we focused on with this video is meals that are under $15, and we feel like you get a lot of food for the amount of money that you're paying.
Our quest for cheap eats starts at the front of the parks here in the heart of Port of Entry, and that is at Croissant Moon Bakery. So here at Croissant Moon Bakery, they serve like pastries and coffee, but what we come for when we're hungry are the sandwiches, and they have 3 sandwiches that are at the same $13.49 price point. But our favorite one is this hot turkey sandwich. I mean, it has everything that you want on it. It's got Gouda, turkey, bacon, some kind of like tomato aioli, which is delicious. And it's a big sandwich. Like, when we get this, we split it. This is pressed. Like, it's pressed down and it's this big. But when you, like, if you see it in the case in there, it's massive. Like, this is just a bunch of bread just condensed down into what is a delicious sandwich. What's funny is, as many times as we've had this, every time I get it, I just think it tastes more and more like pizza. Like, it really tastes like a pizza, and it's a turkey sandwich. And it doesn't really taste like a pizza with bacon and turkey on it, which you would expect, because it has bacon and turkey on it. But every time I get it and I take a bite, I'm like, man, that tastes just like a pizza sandwich.
It is kind of crazy that it does taste like pizza. I think it's something about the bread and like where it gets a little like soft from the sauce that's on there. It gets like pizza crust-y. It's so good though. Like, this sandwich never disappoints. And on top of it being like a massive sandwich, it also comes with fruit and potato salad. So like, for a little bit less than $14, this is plenty of food to fill you up. All right, let's address the elephant in the room here. $13.50 isn't cheap for a sandwich. Like, we're still in the mindset of $5 footlongs, which aren't $5 anymore. Like, the only place that hasn't disappointed us is Costco, because you can still get a hot dog combo for $1.50, but I don't like hot dogs, so I'm gonna eat in the theme parks. So although some of these prices don't necessarily sound cheap, everything is relative, and these are the best deals you're gonna find here in the parks. Our next food item is from Green Eggs and Ham, and that is, of course, tots. When we sat down to make our cheap eats list, tots were on the very top of both of our lists because they're delicious. They come in several different flavor options, and you get a lot of food. It's actually kind of surprising that the tots are as affordable as they are. So we have the buffalo chicken tots, and these come in at $11.99. And then they do have some tots that are a little bit cheaper. So both the pizza tots and the actual Green Eggs and Ham tots are $10.99. So if you want to save that dollar, that's an option, but these are our favorite.
So something that I find interesting is that we've done this video before, like a similar video at least, and we tried to stay under $10 for that video, and like we said, that's just not happening. But the tots made it on that video too, and I don't think they've really went up much, like maybe $1. Like, I think they were like $9.99 when we did that video. No, this isn't like an invitation for totflation. We've got enough inflation in the world. The last thing we need is totflation. The big totflation epidemic of 1976 was just terrible, and we don't talk about that. But what you do? Why are you laughing? It's not funny. Totflation's not funny, but it's not an invitation for that. Like, we don't want the tots. The tots are a perfect price point where they're delicious. You always want them, and you can actually come over here and get them because it doesn't feel like you're, you know, doing something terribly immoral by spending $40 on potatoes.
Our next item is from Fire Eaters Grill. We love Fire Eaters because it's fire. The most affordable item on the menu, though, is their gyro. So you can either get a crispy chicken gyro, a falafel gyro, or just like a traditional gyro, and they're $11.99. So although we most frequently get the chicken stingers from there. We think this is a little bit better of a deal. So you do get the entire gyro and you get a little bed of french fries down there. Now, when you're ordering, you gotta be careful. You can't let them trick you because they do have a combo. It's not like they're not trying to trick you, but the combo comes with all of this and a treat. So that's like a cookie. I think they have like a brownie there and then like edible cookie dough. And that's like $15 and some change. I don't think it's really worth it. Like I don't think any of the desserts are worth that like $3, $4 price increase. But this right here is where it's at. It's so simple, but it's so good. And if you get like the falafel or the traditional that's not fried chicken, it's pretty light and feels like healthier as well. But my favorite part is their french fries. They're not quite as good as Richter's. They're similar. I actually think they're like the same kind of fries, but the people at Richter's put more seasoning on them, so like they taste better. But still, very good Frenchies.
I was getting Anna eating in the background, but so what kind of stemmed this video? Obviously, like we had some people request an updated version, but we were also budgeting the other day. Like we were looking at our budget and we realized how much we were spending on food. And then we started looking at food in the parks. We're like, wow, some of it's like, it's going towards the food in the parks because it's got expensive. But the thing is like, it's just gotten expensive everywhere. And that's what we noticed is like, we realized how much we were spending on food like 3 years ago. And then we were looking at it now and it's just like, why?
We came over here to the Three Broomsticks to try to find an entree that would work. And unfortunately, we didn't really find something that fits our challenge for today. And so there are some menu items here that like you get a lot of food and could feed multiple people. But that's just not really what we're looking for. And when people come on vacation to Universal, they want to eat where they want to eat. Three Broomsticks is probably the most popular restaurant in Islands of Adventure. And although we couldn't find an entree that worked, we did find something.
So this is the freshly baked pie from the Three Broomsticks, and I kind of believe it because it's still warm and we've been getting footage of it and everything. We didn't plan on getting a dessert, but everybody's got a sweet tooth and you need something sweet when you're eating around the parks, even if it's a cheap food. So this is $5, and it is extremely heavy. I mean, the first time that we got it, I expected like the bottom half of this to not really exist, but it does. Like, that's all pie, baby. It's just all pie. This is one of the best apple pies, period. I've even got like some of the crummy stuff in my throat because I don't have anything to drink. That was really well planned. But it has so much of that topping. This is almost like an apple pie and like a coffee cake had a baby. And then they're like, well, name that baby Fresh Baked Apple Pie. Fresh Baked Apple Pie from the Three Broomsticks. It's a long name. I don't necessarily agree with the name. I'd have went with something different, but this is what you got. Because it, like, the topping is just like, it's heavy in cinnamon. It's got that little whatever goodness on top of it. And it's just like the best part of a pie is the crust. And this has the best crust of them all.
And it's the next day. That apple pie just really did us in, like we couldn't eat anymore. No, I'm kidding. A lot of the quick service restaurants in Islands of Adventure close at 5, or at least they did yesterday. So we had to put a pause on that, but we are back to continue eating. Is it our fault because we didn't get up early enough? Maybe. Am I ready to eat? Definitely. Item is the cheese pizza from Pizza Predattoria. It was super busy over there and we couldn't find anywhere to sit, so we came over to Thunder Falls so that we could talk about it. Sometimes when you're at the parks, you just want pizza, especially if you have little kids. And so this isn't necessarily one of the like best deals, but we really wanted to include pizza. So this comes in at $12.49 if you just get the individual pizza by itself and don't get the combo. And we'll be honest, this isn't the cheapest pizza in the parks, but it is substantially better than the cheapest pizza. So like, if you're gonna get pizza, this is the one we would get. It's also easier to share because other places have like the jumbo slice of pizza that's a lot harder to share between like multiple people. But this one, it's in pieces, nice and easy.
Yeah, it's not bad. There's nothing like special about this pizza. It's just, you have to include pizza. Everybody likes pizza. and it's just easy. Like everybody can get something that they want because everybody wants pizza. I did want to mention, mobile order is very useful at Pizza Predattoria. The line was massive. Like, I mean, it was absolutely massive, and we waited like 2 minutes. Like, we were in and out of there before Anna would have even made a dent in that line. So make sure to take advantage of mobile order while you're at the parks.
We've been talking about cheap eats all day, but if you would like some cheap drinks with your cheap eats, the Freestyle Cup is the way to do that. We love this thing and talk about it all the time. It's like $16, $17 the first day that you purchase it, and then on subsequent days you pay like $10 and you get refills all day long. We do talk about it more in detail in some other videos, so I'll link those in the description down below. If you're watching this video, you're probably planning a trip to Universal, or at least thinking about it, or you just watched all of our videos, and for that we love you so much. But we have compiled a list of our best Universal tips and tricks and put them into a Universal vacation planning checklist. So if that sounds like something that you would like to have while you're planning your next trip to the parks, you can scan this QR code right here. We'll also put a link in the description down below so you can click that. So we're going to send you that checklist. We'll also be sending some cool things like foodie guides, HHN updates, and of course with Epic coming up, there are going to be so many big announcements that you guys need to hear, so you'll want to stay up to date with all of that. Thanks guys, love y'all. Our next menu item is from Blondies, home of the Dagwood. So of course we had to get the Dagwood itself, but all of the sandwiches at Blondies are a wonderful deal. So the Dagwood itself is $11.69 just for the sandwich, and the other ones are $11.49, so you save a little bit of money. But look at this thing. Like, look at how big this sandwich is. Like, it is massive, and there's so much meat on there. Like, if I ate this entire thing by myself, I would be stuffed. But what I love about the sandwiches at Blondies is that they're kind of customizable. So it's sort of like Subway, like you walk in and you can kind of pick and choose. The Dagwood is pre-made, but if you want something extra on it, like for example, onions, this doesn't come with onions on it, but you could ask for it and then just like put it on the plate and then you can just stuff them in there yourself.
Like we said, long gone are the days of the $5 footlong, and boy do I miss those days. Do you remember like getting home from school or whatever and being like, Mom, I want a pizza footlong or whatever. I don't know what your sandwich of choice was. I was an Italian guy. I like that. But then you'd always pretend, be like, I'm going to eat half now and save half for later. Then you'd go in there, like you put half in the refrigerator, you'd go get you a Kool-Aid jammer and you'd see that sandwich just sitting there looking you in the eyeballs, and you'd go ahead and eat that half too. At least I did. You know, that's my childhood. I ate footlongs all the time. But this is a decent deal for the parks. Like, I also like that it's a lighter option. A lot of times the stuff that you get in the parks, it's heavy. It's theme park food. And it's just like a sandwich. So, like, $11.69, not great. Like, I'm not a big fan of paying $11.69 for a footlong anymore. But that's where we're at. And so when you're at the theme park, $11.69 for the Dagwood, not bad.
I don't know why, I guess while you're talking about Subway, it made me think about just before I turned 16. It was literally like the week before my 16th birthday. My parents had already bought like the car that was gonna be mine, and neither one of them are home. I really hope they're watching and like hear this story for the first time. They weren't home, I was home alone, and I really wanted a Subway sandwich. Like the ham sandwich was my go-to, and I was like, you know, I could just drive over there. Like I already knew how to drive. It was literally a week until my 16th birthday, so I grabbed my keys, I hopped in my car, and I drove to Subway and got myself a sandwich and drove home. No problems, didn't get in trouble or anything like that, but I thought I was like hot stuff. Like I had done something crazy that drove to Subway.
We also felt like this list couldn't be complete without mentioning burgers. Burgers are kind of like pizza in a lot of regards. A lot of people like them, and so they're pretty popular. But unfortunately, burgers here at the parks aren't cheap. Like here at Circus McGurkus, where burgers are $15.49. Or here at Burger Digs, where a burger is also $15.49. Or like over here at Wimpy's, I guess back there at Wimpy's, it's closed down right now, where burgers are $16.49. Probably worth it. But if you come over here to Comic Strip Cafe, you can get a burger for $13.99. So a little bit cheaper. It's still not super cheap, but it's the cheapest burger in the parks, and that's what this video is about, is trying to find some relatively cheap stuff. We were gonna get one, but it's closed. Sometimes they close stuff. Like, it's the theme of the video at this point. Like, we've just been running into closing issues. Sometimes they close places when it's not that busy, and it's really not that busy today. All right, guys, that is some of the cheapest stuff here in the parks. I know, life stinks. It's so expensive to live, but it's all relative. Like, Anna pays $100 for her haircuts. I don't pay any, so $1 is expensive to me. Relative. But if you want to see more money-saving tips, make sure to check out this video right up here. Also, remember to like, comment, and subscribe because it really helps us out. But thanks for hanging out, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!